Welcome to this explainer. I'm so thrilled you're here today because, honestly, we're embarking on a truly fascinating journey together. We're going to take some profound ancient wisdom from the world's greatest spiritual texts and literally translate it into a highly practical, actionable operating system for your modern life. So if you've been feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders lately, the concepts we're about to unpack are designed to completely shift how you navigate your daily challenges. Let's get right into it.
Why are we all so exhausted? I mean, it's a genuine question, and it is completely valid if you're feeling burned out right now. But here's the secret that ancient traditions and modern psychology both point toward. The bulk of our human exhaustion doesn't actually come from physical labor. No, it comes from the relentless maintenance of the ego. We waste these massive, unquantifiable amounts of psychological energy every single day, constantly defending our self-image, worrying about how we're perceived, and basically trying to force the universe to conform perfectly to our specific desires. It's a heavy, completely impossible job.
Okay, let's dive into this with an observation from psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl. He realized something absolutely profound about this exhaustion. He observed that when you live only for yourself, suffering is just pain, and a major setback can completely destroy your identity. But when you connect to a higher purpose, a powerful why, that suffering is alchemized into sacrifice. The temporary storms of your own life literally can't break you anymore, because your identity is anchored to something vast and unshakable.
Which brings us to a beautiful, incredibly liberating concept, nimitta matram. It's a Sanskrit term that basically translates to be merely an instrument. We're going to explore how true power actually comes from getting out of your own way. You don't have to generate all the force in the world by yourself. Think of it like this. You are simply the flute, and a higher power is the breath. Your only job is to stay clear and let the music play right through you.
Section 1. The Ancient Universal Formula. So the first step here is the call. In the book of Isaiah in the Hebrew Bible, the divine asks, "Who will go?" And Isaiah responds, "Here am I, send me." This verse captures the absolutely crucial first step, which is willingness. To say "send me" is to intentionally set aside your own personal ambition and step into the unknown. It's this profound paradox, really, because it requires both immense humility, recognizing you are the servant, and immense courage to actually step up to the plate.
Now, what's really interesting about this concept is how the ultimate relief follows once you've answered that call. In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna tells the warrior Arjuna that the grand design is already in motion. The heavy lifting? Well, it's already been done by the divine. God is the true doer here. Krishna is telling him to be merely an instrument. This removes the crushing, suffocating burden of our egos. You aren't responsible for the ultimate outcome. Your job is literally just to show up and do the work with excellence.
And when you combine that willingness to step up with detached, ego-free action, you naturally arrive at this final step, ultimate assurance and protection. If you are merely an instrument and a higher power is truly fighting the battle, you are fundamentally untouchable in your spirit. The obstacles, the criticisms, the tools of the world, they cannot defeat a mission that you have surrendered to a higher will. This creates complete, absolute fearlessness.
Let's look at how beautifully these disparate ancient texts synthesize into one cohesive, fear-crushing formula for everyday life. First, you step up and answer the call with a willing heart. Second, you let go. You do your absolute best but release all that toxic anxiety about the outcome. And finally, you walk boldly, trusting completely that you are shielded. It really is a perfect sequence.
Section 2. The Psychology of Surrender.
So how does this rewire our modern brains? First off, there is the incredible relief of the ego. When you dedicate yourself to a higher purpose, you basically get to hand in your resignation letter for the most exhausting, underpaying job in the world, being the center of the universe. The anxiety of, what about me? How do I look? What do they think? Just dissolves. Because the mission is no longer about you, you suddenly free up massive reserves of emotional energy that you used to waste on self-preservation. So the crucial point here is how this mindset completely redefines failure and success. In an ego-driven life, success is all about winning and getting recognized, which means failure is an absolute disaster that crushes you. But in the instrument life, success is redefined purely as obedience to the task. Did you show up and do your best? If yes, you succeeded. If the outcome falls apart, well, it's just the way the larger design is unfolding. This completely eradicates the fear of trying.
What happens next is you gain access to what we can call a higher voltage. When you step back and allow yourself to become a clear conduit, you stop running on the limited, easily depleted battery of your own willpower. You plug into the main current.
Psychologists refer to this high-clarity, high-stamina mode as the flow state. Mystics call it divine grace. Whatever you call it, it allows you to operate with a courage and stamina you could literally never generate on your own.
Section 3. Daily habits for letting go.
Okay, let's bring this down to earth. Here's a high-level overview of 5 concrete, sequential daily habits to put this into practice. Morning consecration, pause during friction, the evening audit, intentional unplugging, and radical service.
Habit number 1 is the morning consecration. Before you touch your phone, before you check your email or look at your terrifying to-do list, take just 60 seconds to explicitly hand the day over. Mentally state that your focus and output today are offered to a greater purpose, not your own self-aggrandizement. This simple act installs the proper operating system in your mind right before the outside world starts demanding your ego's protection. Habit number 2 is the instrument pause. When you hit a roadblock, maybe a logistical failure, a tough conversation, or a stubborn problem, your ego instantly flares up into panic or frustration. Use that spike of resistance as a trigger. Remind yourself, I am an instrument. This is just the terrain. Separating your identity from the problem immediately short-circuits your emotional panic loop and brings you right back to objective problem solving.
Let's see how this builds with habit number 3, the evening audit. At night, ask yourself 2 specific questions. Did I show up and give my absolute best craftsmanship today? And can I release the results and rest? By actively asking these, you decouple your effort from the outcome. This absolutely stops work stress from bleeding into your personal life and ruining your sleep.
Habit number 4 is intentional unplugging. You have to carve out time every single day away from all input. Step away from the explainer audio, put down the social media, turn off the news. Sit in silence or take a walk without headphones. Why? Because silence starves the ego of its audience. It is an absolute necessity to remember what it feels like to simply be in the world, rather than constantly feeling the need to perform for it.
And finally, habit number 5, radical service. This is the ultimate test of surrender. Do something valuable, perform a tedious chore, help someone solve a problem, where your ego gets zero recognition or credit. Don't post about it, don't secretly hope someone notices. Doing this consistently trains your psyche to anchor its worth entirely in the integrity of the act itself, rather than relying on the shaky foundation of external validation. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to ask you something directly. Which part of this journey resonates most with where you are right now? Do you need to step up and answer a call? Do you need to let go and release the heavy burden of forcing outcomes? Or do you need to walk boldly today, trusting that as an instrument you are protected? Think about what you need to embrace today and then get out of your own way. Thanks for joining me to explore this incredible material.